Welcome back to the LCS Dome, powered by Alienware, as we prepare for FlyQuest versus Dignitas. Game 1 today, very back and forth. We hope to keep the momentum going. I'm Riv here with Kobe, and we are about to get into game number 2 of week 2. And, well, I guess day 3, right? I'm excited for this one. There's some bad blood in the top lane. I'm making that up, but it's going to be cool to see Viper and Solo go head-to-head against each other, as it's kind of been positions swapped a little, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, he just straight got traded off the team, right? So there was a lot of discussion last split of FlyQuest climbing up, and a lot of people thought they were better with Solo.
Yeah.
The stats also back that up, by the way. A lot more success for FlyQuest with Solo. The individual stats this split as well have been better for Solo. So for me, I always get excited about the redemption arcs, and this being Viper's chance to try and prove them wrong. Here's a look at some of those stats I was talking about. Solo has been great for this team. You know, KDA, damage, everything. His lane phase has been a lot more positive, and Viper has been struggling, but all of Dignitas has been struggling. And these are only a 3-game sample size worth of stats, so those could easily be turned around. He also has not gotten to play Riven yet, which would definitely turn some of it around. I personally, I feel like we're a little bit of instigators. Like we're going, all right, Viper, yeah, prove him wrong. Tell that guy who took your spot, pick some Riven into him and beat him up. But that would be, that would definitely be exciting. So far, Dig, I know they've talked about, I saw some Akaadian tweets. They're really disappointed in their own play. They don't want that level of play to represent them. Meanwhile, FlyQuest is a very difficult opponent for Dig because FlyQuest still proving themselves as one of the top teams. They've only lost to Cloud9, which we're talking about. Pretty much everybody. Everybody is losing to Cloud9. And FlyQuest, just yesterday, we saw them with another of their nice scaling compositions. They had a really good draft of a super beefy front line, and then Azir and Aphelios, 2 of the best scaling backline carries in the entire game. I think that PowerOfEvil especially is going to be a big problem for Dig. He has shown himself to not only be the very high damage carry that people know and love, highest DPM, but also making some more aggressive looks.
Yeah, he is, absolutely. And seeing how he can play against what would be Froggen, and I kind of put Viper in that same box of like impact players, somebody that's going to kind of come out there and wow a fight. But it's against FlyQuest, who is kind of more well-rounded, always bringing an average, decent fight to the table. It makes it hard when you're only getting those kind of shines of light every so often from a Viper or a Froggen. So seeing how Dignitas can come together against that power that FlyQuest has all the time is really what we need to see throughout the summer split. They have so many good players on the side of Dig. Just coming together seems to be what they need. We're in the bans here, Kobe. Vera, Syndra, as we would expect. Yumi gets blue side banned, but they still want it out of the game. They don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, and honestly, for Dig, I am a little bit conflicted with my last ban because you usually decide between the Graves and the Trundle. Santorin loves Trundle. Santorin has been the troll king. He's actually really embraced that meme and has had a lot of success with FlyQuest playing that way. Yeah. So we actually see the Graves ban coming from FlyQuest side. And there it is, Riv. Oh my goodness. Locked in first pick, Troll King once again for Santorin.
Give it to him. He needs more plays on it. This will be number 2. Obviously just for this season. Like you said, the King is going to be running around the Rift here, setting down that frozen domain. What else do we have to go against him? Do they say we want bottom? We don't have to worry about jungle since you can't ban it out until
maybe a little kindred action like we saw in the last one.
I mean, will they be able to smurf on the peasants? That is the question. Is that still a part of his being in the KD? Volibear locked in for what is, and it could be top lane. Viper likes to be aggressive, so that may suit his style. And we'll see with 15 seconds left what Dignitas has for number 2.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we're setting up the top lane one-on-one redemption story battle, then Volibear is a great champion to choose for Viper because, again, Volibear has so much early power. They hotfix buffed him, and then they also buffed him on 10-12, which we're currently on for the LCS. And so many people have been taking Conqueror. You can also take press the attack if you're against squishier targets and want burst, but you just chase them down in the lane. and you're going to have some extra priority there since Dignitas combined the Volibear pick with Nidalee, who is one of the fastest farmers and these kind of invade pressure junglers where you can get a very quick clear into a very oppressive matchup here. We've seen so many times Nidalee trying to chase the Trundle around. You chase Trundle away from the goals of the enemy team where their win conditions are. Send it back under the bridge. Yeah, send it back under the bridge. You chase them away from their win conditions, and you chase them away from their jungle farm as well. Yeah.
Interesting. I thought there'd be a Jace somewhere here with Dignitas, because now when we see the poke with Volibear, it's like poke him off the turret, dive that turret, and disable it. But the Twisted Fate kind of serves the same purpose with wild cards there. And I am excited to see if Akaadian, because so far aggressive lanes, if you're saying Akaadian can get in Santorin's face, his lane should be pushed up from what we're seeing here. An Ornn top versus something doesn't push hard. What will we have mid? Ezreal's not a fast pusher, so all of that could definitely come to fruition here for Dig. They're a pretty sweet comp coming together as we're into ban. So Kai'Sa gets taken away, and the Blanc from PowerOfEvil, as you were talking about the impact he can put in the game, they take the Magician away.
Yep, I mean, we're seeing a very similar story here. FlyQuest, in their first 3 picks, they are putting together, they are building one of those slow fortress-style compositions. Trundle and Ornn together, like they picked in their game already this week, is one of the beefiest front lines, scales insanely well, maybe one of the best scaling front lines in the whole game. However, is a lot slower, and Dig is going with the newer technology. We just saw it last game. It is aggressive jungler. Nidalee and Kindred both will serve similar purposes here, and combined with those solo laners of Volibear and Twisted Fate. So a lot of similar pieces locked in by Dig. And then FlyQuest are going with that standard strategy that we expect and have seen from them. The difference in this game from game 1 is that the team with these slower kind of scaling options for FlyQuest has had so much more success, is a bit better so far of a team and should have the advantage. So we'll see if the draft actually does flip it around. More crowd control locked in. I love this. Ashe for Johnsun. You get the Ashe arrow to force it if you don't have a crazy snowball like we saw in the last game. Ashe arrows are so good at picking people off when you open up the map, and Twisted Fate instantly can teleport in on whoever you stunned for a very easy kill.
I would love to see FlyQuest pick up the Braum here if they could. Don't let it be used against them with that Ornn horn. You can block the arrows, the wild cards. We'll see what they choose. I promise.
Keeping us in suspense there.
Yeah, right. And Rakan. Okay. Oh, all right.
We're in IgNar specialties.
I still like it a lot. I'm surprised the Braum didn't get picked here, especially by the side of Dignitas. But Afro's feeling the hooks. Can't deny that. And we are going to see our full teams locked in here for FlyQuest versus Dignitas game 2 of the day. As a 2-1 FlyQuest look to get another win. Dignitas looking for win number 1. And we have for sure initiation with that arrow on the side of Dignitas. A lot of follow-up, like you said, from the gate. Maybe Akaadian diving in and Viper being there now on the Volibear. And FlyQuest, again, with that well-rounded, just like you said, comp that can basically move around and be a fortress.
And FlyQuest, their one surprise card, their wow at the end of it to put a little bit of pizzazz on the composition is the Rakan plus Orianna combination. This is definitely one of my personal favorite support and mid laner combinations because Rakan gives them that extra threat of the very quick initiations, and when you put the Orianna ball on Rakan, not only does Rakan become more tanky, but you obviously get to deliver a CC chain and set your Ori up to look like a god with the perfect shockwave by getting the ball into position.
Don't get out of range though, then it's just nobody wants to see that. No, but yeah, I absolutely love it. It's one of the first combinations I started to love after saying, man, if LeBlanc and Ori could be in a game, you have the perfect ult, right? Maybe I saw it once in ARAM. But now that you have Rakan all day, those deliveries can be from so far away for the ball and shockwave that you get some pretty cool plays. We'll see what they can do here with that combination. The Phase Rush Ori, Guardian IgNar. Looks like the rest of the runes are pretty orthodox for what we've been seeing. in the unsealed spellbook. Froggen, fast twisted fate, just like Jizuke played last game.
Yep, should be the case. I mean, so many people are getting a tremendous value. I think this is a combination. When you have Spellbook and Nimbus Cloak, you get a lot of speed, and you can have all these double utility users. These things also work for Galio, is a super popular one, because Galio benefits so much from move speed now ever since they took out the Flash Taunt combo. But there's a lot of mid laners that you can use that combination on. Nimbus Cloak right now is just such a good rune that people should be abusing. Back to your point on the Orianna Rakan, though, it even just cements the extra synergy that IgNar and PowerOfEvil have as players. The fact that they are the mid lane and support players, coming from their long history with Misfits and playing on the world stage together. They've already shown throughout the LCS an ability to coordinate very well between themselves, and that definitely still exists. So that's the part of the FlyQuest one that we're excited for. But I would say Dig with the Champ Select do have a lot of possibilities, especially early on in the game. So we can track the junglers. Right now, Trundle actually going up top here for Santorin very early.
Should be able to get a hold on it with the pillar. Oh, solo turned. Okay. Maybe you already used Headbutt, didn't have a follow-up there, but they definitely just communicate Viper off the wave. That'll help them get a few ahead. Viper should be able to clean it up after with Flash blown now. So maybe a rinse and repeat towards the top side of the map. Akaadian now knows where Santorin was, so may have a few more informed decisions to make, because bot lane is pushing. We expected Dig's lanes to be pushing a little bit here, right? So Akaadian may be able to get into the hair of Santorin, as we were mentioning before. Right now, pretty good ways away for Scuttle Clear. We'll see if they get into each other's paths.
Yeah, that was actually a very efficient gank from Santorin. So I really like blowing that Volibear flash early. First, we'll see Akaadian behind PowerOfEvil, though.
Swiped, cut. Looks like a few band-aids from PowerOfEvil will be used in the mid lane there, as he gets a little cat scratch from Akaadian and Froggen. Good damage. Each lane just trying to get a hit. It doesn't seem like they know they're going to be full executions. They're just looking to get flashes here and start off a little bit of early aggression. If the kill comes in, sweet.
So,
right?
Yeah, back to the mid lane thing. It is, or excuse me, the top lane gank. It's a two-part strategy, because in the first visit, solo is only level 1. So they can't really, get that combination that's so amazing with Trundle and Ornn, where Trundle puts up the pillar and then Ornn can charge right into it. But by blowing the flash, now Viper has to play this Volibear matchup, which is usually super good for the Volibear, full agency. Now he has to play it safe. He has no flash and no teleport now after that gank. Really completely changes even the champions that you got to draft and coming out into lane, because now if Santorin ever makes a visit up there, it is a double flash versus 0 summoner spells, and Trundle can just put up a pillar, and like you're saying, the Ornn can charge right into it for the knockup, and it should be very easy for them to kill. So I really like when you have early jungle attention. That actually changes the way that matchups should play theoretically.
Absolutely. And that's another synergy they have, right? We talked about the Ori Rakan, and you look at the Ornn and the Trundle pillar. They're just kind of making different situations for themselves that really allow them to play it how the enemy may not be expecting. Viper here getting a bit of push. Looks like Solo will be able to do pretty well for himself right now, just building in lane. As Ornn, it always makes it so fun. If you haven't ever watched Ornn's animation, I know I've said this before, but when he does build, he whacks it really hard a few times, and the last one he goes to swing like super hard, and then he taps it. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite things, and I'm so glad whoever designed it that way, because it's super satisfying to watch.
Jungle invade. I see Nidalee chasing Trundle around here. Looks like he's just going to run him off the ground.
Yeah. I mean, Akaadian, he's got to pressure, right? You're on Nidalee. You want to get in the other jungler's hair or cause disruption in the lanes. Cause a little bit of pullback here from Solo, who's going to be farming. So now Santorin's to his own devices in the jungle as we got to fight bot side. Nice battle dance in as they're trying to get a heal onto Mash here. He's walking away, though, just going for the mystic shots as he can get him fired back over the shoulder of IgNar. Hook to come in possibly from Afro, but the minions are there. They still get the flash out of IgNar, and Dignitas with a strong bot lane fight to come out early.
Ooh, yeah, Johnsun giving him a piece of his mind right there as aphromoo is able to stand tall on the Thresh. and he is the one with the heal as well. They use it for a little move speed. They get rewarded with the flash out of IgNar on the end. So double summoners blown by IgNar with Max and IgNar trying to force that all in. That results in Dragon. That's objective 1 for Dig. So really like the draft that they're coming in and the play to back it up. A 0-3 start for Dig was super unfortunate for them, but they're definitely trying to turn things around here, putting in the work. Akaadian's able to head over, make good on the bottom lane play from Johnsun and aphromoo, turn that sucker into an objective.
I think Akaadian's looking very comfortable this game as he has no hesitation to get in and out of the jungle. Viper's there on call when he needs it. It seems like the team's flowing together pretty well here. And we haven't even seen what level 6 means for Dignitas right now. Froggen just hits that, so we could see him as he backs TPing back out into a lane. The lane in mid is even right now, so we may just look to farm as there isn't too much action. 4.5 minutes coming up for the Ocean Drake, so that won't be our soul. We'll either get Mountain or Infernal.
Yeah.
Spicy damage game if it's the hot one.
Yeah, I'm super excited for the next, like 5 to 8 minutes because this game is going to be another example of how important your picks for mid and jungle are. When you have a winning jungle plus Twisted Fate mid lane, it just opens up so many of these early game options. You just mentioned, hey, Froggen's level 6 now, so with that goes a whole host of problems for FlyQuest. As Trundle Orianna, it's very difficult to make the same jungle plays as Nidalee invading, Twisted Fate having the ultimate available to jump down on top. You gold card someone into a guaranteed spear hit, and it's just a very strong combination for them to try and get some deeper vision, try and steal away some of those jungler camps, because right now Santorin actually has done a decent job of keeping up the farm on Trundle, and we talked about how his earlier gank blowing Viper's Flash did a lot for Solo and helping out Solo in what would be a difficult Ornn versus Volibear earlier, where he would have to give up a bit more ground and a bit more CS.
Right. Towards mid. Looks like it's just going to be a pathing here for Akaadian as he continues to farm it out. Doesn't seem like they want to add too much pressure now. It's like they're working within that window. You were kind of just talking about things are going to go down for each team. FlyQuest pushing in wards. And Akaadian and Dignitas reading what that movement may be now throughout their jungle. Getting blue on his own side, so it looks like they're going to be able to deny one and also take one for Froggen as Santorin wants in, but he's kind of alone at the moment. I was going to say, Mash and IgNar are there, but it didn't seem like they'd be able to get towards that wolf pit soon enough.
Yeah, that's a big difference. Bottom lane got the opportunity to push in there, and IgNar was the one who put that ward in the wolf pit, able to get the early alert on Akaadian's position. So he's still, even after dying, trying to go get the extra, deep intelligence for the team. Meanwhile, focus on the minions here for Froggen since Akaadian is back in base. Use red card, wild card.
Solo 83 to 68 as we keep an eye on that matchup. Our kind of top lane feature throughout this game. Solo moves into that position on FlyQuest where it used to be Vipers. Against Bangs in the top lane team. A bit of a fight as Solo misses that charge. 3v2 in the top side. That's going to be quite a bit of damage on the Solo as he goes down first here. That's the first blood, and now they smell blood in the water. Viper could be next. He does go down, and that's going to be a little retribution for his teammate. Akaadian can't answer with anything more there, and PowerOfEvil is going to make sure he gets out with a quick distance kill for himself.
Yeah, PowerOfEvil with the follow there. That looked disastrous for FlyQuest, but PowerOfEvil, Orianna walks over and flashes over the wall. He's like, all right, Twisted Fate, I am coming after you, Froggen. He walks immediately. Just look at the mini-map, and you get a pretty good story here, because there's an extra few seconds for Dignitas, but since Viper starts the fight much lower, good dodge there by Akaadian, not getting stunned up. Viper is actually the target. He jumps in, Santorin can ult him and challenging smite him. So Viper gets burned down really early, even though they got the first kill on the side of Dignitas. Then PowerOfEvil, shockwave from over the wall, flashing over into Froggen to finish it off. And Akaadian had gotten Santorin low, could have finished him off if not for the kill going over. Trundle gets a lot of health back if anyone dies around him, in addition to the triumph from his passive.
Almost stolen, but they're going to grab it. Santorin gets Rift Herald. Let's see where they use the first one. It seems like the game has definitely been ignited now that they're moving around. Dignitas was trying to get in the hair of FlyQuest as they did Rift. Akaadian has consistently been trying to track Santorin, but I don't think they're getting as much ground as they would like off of that information. Top fight has kind of swung it now in favor of FlyQuest. Still a gold lead of 700 in favor of Dig, though, from what we've been seeing across the lanes. Let's see as they push back down the bottom.
Definitely some solid stuff here from FlyQuest. I really like that last play as kind of a bit of a breaking point for them, and you can tell no hesitation in following the play. Bottom lane, meanwhile, we haven't checked in too much on it, but you know, Mash and IgNar, after IgNar got his double summoners blown in the all-in, he's been a little bit quiet. Now the cooldowns have come back up, so they once again have an option here.
Akaadian just over the wall. There's not going to be a ward there. So IgNar, oh, he gets hooked out of the quickness. What a hook coming in from aphromoo. It's just that easy. And they're going to be making their way over to Drake. Mash is trying to do what he can now with Mystic shots over the wall. And we'll see if they can push Santorin off. So at least they have Shrine for Vision, but I don't know if it's going to matter at this point after losing their support.
Yeah, aphromoo comes up with another big play. And IgNar actually flashed after the last auto from Johnsun was in the air, so it connects. He dies in addition to flashing late there, and Dignitas will take another dragon. The bottom lane for them has been a big, big help. Viper gonna have to run his run away from his own turret as Shelly is used, and Akaadian.
Oh, ooh. That's a nice Dark Passage save. Mash almost gets taken down now. aphromoo coming up with a hook kill. Just eagle eye right now as he throws out the lasso, bringing in all of FlyQuest to their death. And that's going to be a turret on the top side here for FlyQuest, as they're not completely getting pushed back on this. There's a lot of action going down top side as Dig is making it work mid lane. aphromoo coming up big there, helping the team get some kills.
How does that feel, Riv? Shouting aphromoos name once again. It's been a while since we've seen some of the big plays from him.
Absolutely fantastic. I was going to call attention to the last one. It was a battle dance into the quickness, so he quickly had to adjust where he was looking at IgNar to make that hook in bot lane for the first kill he got. So just on point right now with Thresh, as it always has been for aphromoo.
Not to be a Debbie Downer, but their opponent still is very difficult here. FlyQuest have a lot of scaling options, like we went over in Champ Select. So I really do like these proactive plays and some of the victories they've been getting. But don't let it go under the radar that FlyQuest, in chasing Viper off that top turret, and a lot of the top pressure that they have had with solo on the Ornn, resulted in the entire tower plus the turret place going down. It's a lot of gold, as well as, again, the combinations that can come from this team later with the Orianna plus Rakan and the Ornn ultimate, setting that up to be even easier to land. So gold's still very close here, and FlyQuest have a lot of tools to bring to a team fight later in the game.
Looking at Johnsun for now. Had a quick kill for himself in the early part of the game. They were able to push IgNar back and the rest of the team. Where will they be able to find their next engage, though? That arrow can come from anywhere. Slowly building each other up. The follow for Twisted Fate Gate, almost off of cooldown. And we have 2.5 onto the Drake. Nothing for Baron just yet, but it does look like it's time to start setting up that vision and see what kind of resources they can pull out of Dig.
Yeah. Exactly. FlyQuest, their strength is in numbers. They've drafted the Fortress-style 5-on-5 fight.
I like that. I like it.
And that's what they want to do. Right now, you're at the stage of the game where Trundle has been able to shrug off a lot of what Nidalee does. He's feeling very tanky right now, even with just the Cinder Hulk plus the Bramble Vest. And Santorin, you can see, getting a lot more confident. They take the crab into the mid turret for themselves and are trying to set up to put a stop to the dragon stacking that Dignitas have done. So that is going to be our big question for the mid game. Can Dignitas make it past that next hurdle, get the third dragon to bring the extra pressure, put themselves on soul point? They really do need to make use again. Froggen has Twisted Fate ultimate available. try and catch somebody off guard, I would definitely recommend for Johnsun's arrow, Ashe arrow shooting, you try and use these control wards to create a pocket of fog of war that FlyQuest can't see, and then you launch the arrow from out of vision, giving you a much better chance at Ashe arrow into Twisted Fate gold card into a kill.
Otherwise, it just seems telegraphed, right? You know Viper wants to dive in. There's going to be an Ashe arrow coming from somewhere. So if you are alone, you have to be very worried for that. But it does seem hard. A lot of the Volibears we have seen coming out, namely Kumo and a few others, it's been played from ahead. You have the opposing team at their turret. You're poking them out with the Dignitas' composition, which would be great for it. And you're orchestrating the fights on your own accord. Here, Dignitas is trying to find a way to make the fights theirs and only finding a few members of FlyQuest in lanes at a time. It becomes tough.
It definitely does, especially considering you just look at the two champions that are up there right now. You know, of course, again, it does come back to some influence from the team. Santorin ganking, multiple three people ganks up top side, Rift Trailers up top side. But now you're in a world where if I gave you two options, Riv, and you got to have a 17-minute Volibear with Trinity Force, who's a lot more squishy, or an Ornn with a Sunfire Cape Abyssal Mash just finished and approaching the level where you can start upgrading items. Well, never mind. We got a team fight.
Door number 2. You don't even have to finish.
Yeah, you want the double item power spike there.
Door number 2.
The squishier Volibear going to have a rough time here at this dragon fight. Now we can get to see Ornn into Orianna plus Rakan combo. It might be difficult for Dig to walk up here. Infernal Rift does give them more room though.
PowerOfEvil just on the edge of Akaadian spears as he throws out those javelins. Well, Hook, not sure they want that one. Solo is going to charge away, so they know they have a bit of room to work with being crowd controlled. Ornn is still there if he wants to ring the dinner bell and make it happen. Whoa! Viper goes into the middle of the fight and he almost dies mid-air in the alley-oop of his ult. He's going to be back onto Drake at Santorin from FlyQuest. And they are now hitting Infernal a little bit, but it looks like they want a bit of that mid pressure that Froggen is drawing them to. Great job by Dignitas to distract and pull FlyQuest apart here, but it doesn't look like they want to play that game very much longer as all of FlyQuest now gathers around the Infernal Drake to stop this from being number 3 for Dignitas. Dig now hooking in IgNar, maybe one they want. Battle Dance back as that is the Ornn going out. Drake goes down. It looks like this fight's going to fizzle out with much more happening. Oh, as I say that, Akaadian gets caught by the shockwave. PowerOfEvil looking ahead into the future and places that perfectly.
And even though Dig are still technically slightly ahead in gold, you can see it on screen how the compositions interacting, like we talked about, makes it feel so much more in FlyQuest's favor. After Viper jumps in, we just said, hey, it's Trinity Force, Volibear, so you better make very
You almost didn't hit the ground.
Yeah, you better make very good use of the time you have. I almost feel like you have to have Ashe Arrow up when he's going in, because if you don't have Ashe Arrow,
disruption.
Yeah, you need a stun for him. You need the Ashe Arrow and gold card so that the Volibear just doesn't get. You saw there, instantly Trundle ulted, and then like 2 shots one from Ezreal, one from Orianna, and he's going, oh, I'm flashing out here. Meanwhile, FlyQuest, of course, they've drafted a super tanky front line, allowing them to sit up on the dragons, and they've been able to check off the next item on their list. That was put a stop to the dragon stacking of Dignitas.
Yep.
And they've entered the calm Zen area of this game.
It works out nicely. Yeah, they can really set quite a bit up for themselves now without having to worry. Turrets still in mid, turrets still in top, which makes that portion of the jungle very safe. They've only lost bottom, and they don't really need to go down there for any point in time until that next Drake comes up. With Baron in 10 seconds, a lot of that focus is now going to be towards the top side of the map. So pink ward moving now occurring as they start to approach wars a little bit further in. And I think we just got the ward wars here for a bit, Kobe, as we hit 20 minutes. We'll see who comes out on top of this.
I've heard tales of the ward wars. Many junglers and supports have lost their lives fighting those ward wars.
Pepperidge Farm memories.
You can tell IgNar on your minimap right now, he's got the luxury of putting these super deep wards you see on the red jungle quadrant of Dig. He lays them back. Twisted Fate ult.
Yeah, pulling the trigger on that. Trundle Pillar comes up. They're not going to get too much slow with wild cards after gold card and follow-up. So it's fizzled out there. Dignitas, Akaadian, and aphromoo, kind of a 2-man team right now as they make their way back into safety. Oh my, well, they're just being chased now. So this information that FlyQuest just got says, hey, we can push all the way through, out of position in the current formation that they have. Let's just quick get some wards out. We'll make them play around that. And they throw down the Rift Herald right away at the second tier mid turret. FlyQuest instantly pressuring off of knowing Froggen's gate is down. His ultimate being used just allows them to go haywire.
Yep, there's an expansion and contraction of pressure there. Good attempt, because Dig know that they have to find a pick. This game hinges on them having to pick off separated members of FlyQuest. So Froggen actually attempts another.
Ooh, very clean hands by PowerOfEvil as Froggen tries to get the lockdown there with crowd control. And they're trying to get in. Everybody's trying to be a little sneaky, and it might cost either team quite a bit.
Yeah. You can tell they, when they see an opening, you have to try and pounce on somebody. But if FlyQuest can continue to evade the attempts of Dig, then you have the contraction, and you see all of Dig after expending Twisted Fate Ultimate or after expending Twisted Fate Flash. They have to retreat to their towers, and FlyQuest push forward, getting another bit of objective. That Rift Herald used mid means that no tier 2 mid either, so the road is really paved for FlyQuest.
Focus now. Looks like it's leaning towards this dragon. Obviously, a lot of the wards of Baron have gone away. They may get a little bit of vision there, but this 1 minute Infernal Drake will be a pivotal point for this game. It seems like Dig's going to start moving up through mid to set up a little bit of control there. IgNar is doing a good amount of clearing towards top PowerOfEvil. So, Summoners, quite a few down for this next fight coming up. PowerOfEvil does not have that cleanse again, which could be a focus as they go for Johnsun with the flash up. He'll be able to get right out right quick, but there we are. Which Summoners are up? There's another one down, as we say.
Yep, both carries on Dig now won't have flash for the dragon fight that you mentioned. So honestly, Dig, since their dragon stacking has already been broken, they might just have to give that one up to FlyQuest uncontested. Considering no flashes on their carries, they don't even have a really good chance at pulling a surprise play, pulling a pick on somebody, since both Mash and PowerOfEvil have their flashes available. Mash even has cleanse available on top of it, and you have to be very worried about the Ornn ultimate setting up the
IgNar gets caught, flipped back as well. The battle dance too. aphromoo was able to get him out of that as soon as IgNar was actually able to move. His timing on the Thresh abilities right now is just huge. Santorin trying to push in with IgNar down again. This becomes super tough. They don't even get a Fiend's healing or a bit of healing coming from the Quills if he can hit them. And now it's just going to be a back and forth for this third Drake for Dig. Remember, they still need another one for Soul Point, but Viper and Froggen now on a 2-man mission behind the pit versus 3 as Santorin is looking for a smite over the shoulder of Akaadian. And I don't think that's going to happen. They're going to go for the fight overall. Solo's in the middle. Nice hook onto PowerOfEvil just to stall the fight a little bit from aphromoo as they're trying to get Viper out. No real use of any of the abilities there. You didn't get the redemption from aphromoo. You can see how calm Dignitas is feeling now throughout the game.
Yeah, the bottom lane for Dig is the shining light for them right now. They are keeping the dream alive. aphromoo is making IgNar look like a fool. Again, full combos him. They kill off IgNar before it starts and get the third dragon. Now, it's a bit later than they wanted, but at least they've reopened the conversation around their dragon. So aphromoo now. Ooh, payback? Okay.
I mean, he gets out seeing that the ultimate was used, so that feels pretty good, even though he had to blow his flash. Quickness is going to be up for IgNar, but both teams are really just looking for fights right now in any given opportunity. Another push in there from FlyQuest that they will reset from, as they don't have too much forward vision in Dignitas in the jungle. Gotta be afraid when they're in there. Akaadian's going to keep getting the blues. Looks like they're going to keep delivering that out. Obviously, Froggen with blue cards doesn't really need much, and he has a buttload of mana right now, so it doesn't matter.
Definitely does. All right, let's also just have another check-in on the front line. Super tanky,
indeed,
beefy boys for FlyQuest. Look at this, just overwhelming pressure now that will come from the Trundle and Ornn. Extra Spirit Visage has been completed for Santorin, so The Trundle already heals a very significant amount, and now he's adding the extra armor in on top. So he just got the Warden's Mail, so his Thorn Mail will be done pretty shortly. It'll be triple defensive item Trundle plus beefed up Ornn, who's starting to hand out the Ornn upgrades and has given PowerOfEvil the upgrade to the death cap. So all the scaling for FlyQuest is still a huge worry for Dignitas.
That's a heal. Froggen's going to try to pour it out of this one. Oh my god, he gets out unless there's a clockwork windup following him to his death. But he is out. He is alive. Oh my word. Froggen by the skin of his teeth gets out of that one. And he will not be able to participate in this fight. Ghost is going to be there. He may use that to get back the lane, but it's going to take a long time. Or to the Baron pit, I should say. And he is just going to start huffing it right now. IgNar's on the other side. His ult is coming up. As we see a TP coming into the fight as well. FlyQuest wants to back off just a little bit here, knowing Dignitas could really make a shock and awe fight happen from distance. And do they get control of mid now? Solo's going to call the Ornn horn off. Who do they want? And there's really no follow-up from that distance. They were trying to push him off mid, and FlyQuest is getting a little haphazard here, and they're re-engaged. Dignitas is also tempting. Solo's out of position here, Kobe. This one's getting a bit zany. That's going to be a lockdown onto Solo, and that's exactly what he is, trying to get back with his team and not be the Lone Ranger here. Viper goes down immediately again. Not so much thick skin on the bear this game. Santorin starts to get the Rangers focus in from Johnsun, and that becomes a little tougher to take down the tank. aphromoo finds himself as the caboose in this retreat, and he goes down, and it's going to keep following up. The dominoes start to fall for Dignitas, and Santorin and the rest of the team are the ones to pick him up.
Yep, FlyQuest, they even have to teleport for Solo. He's back out onto the map. The Baron will get picked up. Froggen gets chased out of Dignitas' own jungle by PowerOfEvil, and that is going to be the tipping point. FlyQuest with this should be able to crack inside the base, take those inhibitor turrets down. Man, that fight even looked good for Dig as well, Rib. Like, that opening is what you want, but you saw even with the pick on the Solo and huge DPS opening for Dig, you can just look at how much Johnson's auto-attacking him. Akaadian comes through, Viper is even on him. He's just so tanky right now with the Ornn that when Viper goes in full health on the bear, he actually gets DPS down quicker than Solo does, who is at maybe 33% or so. And you know, the bear has to flash out. Bear dies anyways, and then all of Dig's kind of battle lines are broken here. So it's just it's too big of a health deficit to actually overcome in that difference. And you got to think maybe like a tankier build for the Volibear to be frontline rather than the Trinity Force stance here. Right. While behind, since he's not really getting 1v1 time, he's not really getting some time to take advantage of the bonuses of Trinity Force, which can be a really good item if you have side lane pressure, if you have 1v1 potential for dueling. But in 5-on-5, when he's got Ezreal, Orianna hurting him, 9 times out of 10, you got to instantly flash back out.
Yeah, it does seem like Dignitas kind of did all the eggs in one basket for super damage towards the top side of the map this game, and then kept going with it. I mean, with it pays off, right? It looks like you're melting people, and they're just marshmallows, but you fall behind in the situation. Sometimes you have to change up how you're mitigating what the other team is doing. Solo now pushing with the rest of the team. He's actually going to back. He's going to be what holds Viper and Froggen at bay if they can. I like the idea from Dig. How much are they giving up to do this, though? A nice hook, only going to stall FlyQuest, but not even for very long. They're right onto the inhibitor, and they may even go for more on this push. They have a minion wave that's baroned up right there, Kobe, and they're looking just under 30 minutes to start cracking these Nexus turrets. And with Ezreal, their mash is going to be able to take these down very quick. They'll back off for now. A little bit of breathing room to Dignitas here, and Solo does a great job on the bot side, but cannot hold it all as Dignitas comes up with their own inhibitor.
I like the pivot from Dignitas. After losing that team fight, they gotta play into what they do have. So since they do have Twisted Fate and they do have damaged Volibear, they send them both to split push and trade inhibitors right there while you're in a weaker state is a positive for them. Now, there was no way they were going to get some advantage out of FlyQuest having Baron buff and pushing up, but being able to trade is pretty good considering how much of an advantage FlyQuest have, especially with FlyQuest now ticking level 16 on their solo laners.
Yeah.
The next 5-on-5 is pretty easy for them. They just group up. Everybody heading topside right now. You can see you want to push on the super minion lane of your opponents so that you can kill off the pressure that they have while allowing yours in bottom side to do the work for you.
Here we are, top of FlyQuest is Johnsun and aphromoo. Stand tall for Dig. We do see that Viper's finished Death Stance, but so has Mash. So you're getting one on each side there as the fight's going to be able to go a little bit longer. How much longer? Yet to be told. The shockwave there onto Froggen, and it catches him just on the outer rim as they have to push him back. Not too far as he's right near base. He's going to come back out nice and healthy, but not able to participate too much in this fight. FlyQuest moving just as this unit, this fortress. We've heard about moving castles. Crazy, right? Yeah.
How?
So, exactly. So with 3.5 on the Infernal, it's kind of the slow-going game. Wait for the minion waves. If the Infernal comes up, it's safe enough to take. Go for it, but FlyQuest completely controlling this game and deciding how it goes.
Yep, here comes the squad. Looking at the last inhibitor turret standing. A little bit of a flank from IgNar. He hasn't had too much success with those so far, so expecting to play a little bit safer. Just group up, 5 members strong for FlyQuest. They should be inside the base with, oh, there we go.
Quick hits on that inhibitor, a little back and forth. They're saying if we get the right person, we'll go in. Solo, we've seen him start so many fights from half health, 30% health, like we saw over at the river fight. It doesn't matter to him, and he's healing up quite quick anyways. Mash focusing on the Nexus turrets as the rest of the team is making sure he is safe on the back line. And there it goes again. Viper goes down immediately as he tries to be the first one in the fight. Actually bumped out. Didn't even really get to land on his paws that time. And it is going to be FlyQuest trying to get to the Nexus. Oh my God! There's the Wombo combo. We get to see it at the end. Beautifully done by FlyQuest as they soar over Dignitas for the victory.
We saw it, Riv. We talked about it for 15 minutes, baby.
It's like when they say the name of the movie in the movie. They did it. There it is. Oh, we finally got it. What a game. And FlyQuest, we said in the beginning, and we said it a few times throughout, still showing they are a top 3 team, and there is a reason.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot that they had to overcome as well. You know, the looks of Nidalee plus Twisted Fates invade combos from Champ Selects. They actually dealt with those pretty well, dealt with a lot of the picks. Dignitas, I think they did a good job early on, especially the bottom lane, opening up some windows for them to play off and getting some of those dragons. Congratulations to FlyQuest. Well-deserved win. Still their only loss is to Cloud9, so they can count themselves among those contenders for second.
Just say it's not a loss just yet. If everybody loses to him, right, is it really a loss? Yeah, it is. So it's time for us to take a quick break right now. When we return, Pastry Time is going to be standing by with the Verizon post-game interview. Don't go anywhere.
Fun to drive wherever you go. The first ever CR-V hybrid with all-wheel drive standard. The best-selling CUV over the last decade now comes as a hybrid from Honda.
Hello and welcome back for the Verizon post-game interview. I am Patient Time. Joining me is the top laner of FlyQuest. Yet another victory for Solo. Solo, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man.
That game seemed pretty good for you. I think in the middle there, it got a bit extended. There was some battling back and forth, but it seemed like you were in full control for most of that game.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really have any worry about losing, but I definitely think we played a lot more sloppy than we should. So maybe we're just a little bit asleep at the wheel. But I mean, a win is a win, so it's what matters.
For sure. And kind of on the metagame right now, it's kind of interesting to see, jungle being so active, mid lane maybe getting some differences around there. But top lane's been, for a while, it felt like Set and Aatrox were the only champions you could play. Certainly thundered his way into the meta. Any thoughts on kind of that champion? Because it seemed like you handled the Volibear pretty easily this game.
Yeah, Volibear is... I think people are still a little bit mixed about what he's like right now. But it seems like, in a way, he's kind of like a Set 2.0 kind of. He does a lot of the same things where he's really good in lane, good at diving, really like insane when he gets ahead. But yeah, so people are like trying him out. He's looked pretty good in some games, pretty bad in others, so it's hard to have an opinion.
And of course, you're just sitting on duty, happily making sure the team is scaling up.
Yeah, just gotta stick with the free win, right?
For sure. And I think that has been one of the features of FlyQuest that's been nice to watch, is that, you played fast against C9, but you just feel very comfortable to play pretty standard and feel confident in the team's like skill and ability to pull through in almost any given game. Yeah, we know that at the end of the day, it's just about getting wins and stuff. So if we have to play slow and a little methodical against some of the teams, and we know that'll be the best chance to win, then we'll do it. And then for you, does anything change this full season to play with the team? Kind of what was that like coming into the season, being like, cool, now I get like the starting spot and a chance to play every single game, hopefully doing one finals.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot better being able to practice like full time, getting a whole split, and kind of being able to like ease into the meta and not have to play catch up for like the whole entire time. So I mean, I think us getting the synergy together is just going to make it better in the long run.
Do you feel like there's anything different that you've brought to the team now that, again, because the game has changed quite a lot, do you feel like your role is different to what it was in spring, or do you feel like right now it's kind of the same, at least in top lane?
I think it's a lot of the same. I mean, everyone's just kind of bringing their own play to the table and contributing to the team, and then it's just 5 pieces to the same puzzle, so everyone's doing their best, and I don't think anyone's having to like step outside their boundaries to fill any spots. We're just doing everyone's job.
And then as far as total strength for FlyQuest goes, currently you're in second place, but you are tied with 3 other teams. It is very early into the season, it's important to note. But I think everyone is understandably talking about, there's Cloud9 and then there's everybody else. Is FlyQuest, in your opinion, that team that will take that second spot?
Well, I think for sure we need to be like second place. I mean, that's what we ended up getting last split, and I don't see any reason why EG or TL should be like ranked ahead of us. But I think regardless of where people are power ranking, we know in FlyQuest that like beating C9 and better than being C9 is the goal, and everyone else like doesn't really matter.
Well, certainly shows in the consistency in your win, Solo. Thank you very much for joining me. When we return, Golden Guardians load back onto the Rift as they attempt to take down the LCS champions, Cloud9.
That's going to be quite a bit of damage on the Solos. He goes down first here. That's the first blood, and now they smell blood in the water. Viper could be next. He does go down. Akaadian just over the wall. There's not going to be a ward there. So IgNar. Oh, he gets hooked out of the quickness. What a hook coming in from aphromoo. It's just that easy. And that becomes a little tougher to take down the tank. aphromoo finds himself as the caboose in this retreat, and he goes down, and it's going to keep following up. The dominoes start to fall. Didn't even really get to land on his paws that time. And it is going to be FlyQuest trying to get to the next. Oh my God! There's the Wombo combo. We get to see it at the end. Beautifully done by FlyQuest as they soar over Dignitas for the victory.
It's Jake from State Farm.
Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning. Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis?
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.